Ross, Damien Hardwick says that the decision to replace John Griffin with Aaron Sandlin is within the rules, but he's not sure that it was within the spirit of the game, and that he intimated that it would have been.
I don't think I need to respond to Damien except to say this. It was a legitimate, bona fide, there was no ruse here. So if anyone's calling us liars, they want to be really strong and have strong evidence, because John Griffin come into our doctor after the warm-up and tweaked his groin, and clearly leaving Aaron Sandilands out of the team for John Griffin was a big decision and a lot of pressure. And then when he tweaked his groin, he went to our doctor. I was in shock myself, they were in the warm-up, because we clearly thought Aaron was underdone. The doctor and Jason Webber and Ken Withers grabbed me, and I started laughing because I couldn't believe it after last week. So I said, go and get John, and John came into the room, and I said, what's happening? He goes, I've tweaked my adductor or whatever it is. And I said, well, you tell me. And he said, I'm not confident to play. And I said, well, you're done. And then we went and got Aaron, and Aaron was out the back, and the players were actually laughing about, probably don't get him to do a major warm-up because he played, excuse me, really well. So I understand what people think, but I'm not sitting here telling lies. So like Nat 5, everyone thought he didn't roll it in his hotel room, but guess what, he did. So I'm on record here. This is bona fide and legitimate, and if anyone wants accusations outside of that, they're well and truly out of line and want to be really careful.
How long before the game was Aaron told he was in?
I just told you, they're about to warm up. They're in their final warm-up before, and you'll see on the television cameras, I called them all together like I did last week with Nat 5 behind closed doors, but this is clear later. They were in their final ground ball inside warm-up, like the last 2 minutes before they went out. So they were getting ready. I called them over into a group. That will be on camera. And I said, I don't want to shock you, but Aaron's in and John's out. So when I spoke to Aaron, Aaron didn't even know who had gone out of the team. So, yeah, I understand what people think, but the reality is I can't put it any clearer, you know. So...
As Aaron was already stripped in his boots and...
Well, we always warm up our emergencies. There's two reasons for that. So we always make conscious decisions of who's playing waffle, who can be an emergency and not miss because of the challenges of the waffle. So Tom Sheridan had been in good form. It was marginal, so Peel don't play, so he'll be an emergency, can warm up. And Aaron was the ruckman, who he was playing tomorrow, so to warm up as well. So that's really simple. And we had two players coming in significant doubt. It was Matthew Pavlich and Nathan Fyfe. Okay, so I told Aaron, if Matthew doesn't come through, you'll play. And I also told Tom Sheridan in the team meeting, if Nathan Fyfe doesn't come up, because we didn't even train Nathan in the last meeting session. So there was some significant doubt. If there was two I expected to pull out, it was going to be Matthew Pavlich and Nathan Fyfe. So that's the reality of it, you know. And at the end of the day, I just talk about the Fremantle Football Club. I'm a no-excuse football club, you know. We don't talk about McFarlane going for what seemed a harsh decision the week before and Nathan Fyfe rolling his ankle. We just deal with what's put in front of us and move on. We're a no-excuse football team because things happen. I thought we had a dominant performance, really got hold of them, almost doubled their shots. I don't think the scoreboard was reflective of our dominance. So I was really pleased with our whole day, bar our conversion.
How proud of Aaron's effort, given obviously one the layoff and two unusual preparation?
Well, it's a credit to, again, Jason Webber and Michael Dobbin and Aaron himself. So our head conditioner, elite performance manager, whatever title you want to give them, the blokes that get them fit and the blokes that rehab them. So Aaron hadn't played since Richmond. There was a bye. He didn't run for 6 weeks. 4 weeks he started running. So hence my conservative nature at match committee. It was a really tough match committee. It's pretty hard waking up in the morning, and Aaron trained exceptionally well in the last session. So it is difficult when you see that to go the way we did, but I thought we'd been playing really good football without Aaron anyway. And he was pretty keen, if he didn't play with us, to play at East Fremantle. So it was a hard decision, but we thought the right one. And it's funny how the footy gods work. And fortunately, it turned out the right way for us, you know.
How did Aaron pull up in the rooms?
Yeah, look, everyone's fine. Nathan tweaked that ankle at the end that we thought had some difficulty with. On the surface, 10 days a bit of a sore shoulder. He tweaked it at the end, but we come out really healthy. But it was a really hot day, and our players were we're really fatigued at the end. Hence we just started to do kick only. We knew we couldn't lose the game, so we wanted to take the tempo off. And so like Nick Subin, when he got that free kick on mark and then he rolled on, had it smothered, I was animated because we just should have been just killing the game, really, and just because everyone was extremely tired, because I thought our effort was immense today, and they're a really dangerous team. I think their average losing margin is, I don't know, 20 points or 15 points, and their full complement, I'd suggest, all their midfield and everyone. So I thought it was a really commanding performance that we should get a lot of confidence out of.
What happened to Matthew and how's he?
Well, he's just been, you know, having hamstring tightness and Achilles tightness that he's managed for years, you know, but it was quite acute last week in the Adelaide game, and post-Adelaide we didn't think he'd play. So, again, credit to our doctors and physios, and we had specialists come in and work with Matthew and the sports science division and medical team just to find a way to get players up, and that's all part of that player availability. And it's a credit to Matthew that he finds a way. He didn't train all week, so I think you guys were at the last session filming, he didn't train. So
it looked like he was struggling in quite a few patches there. What are his chances?
Well, he got kicked then, yeah. So then he got kicked in the calf, you know. So it's funny how it compounds. Yeah, so we're pretty confident he'll play, but there was some doubt, you know. So hence, Tommy Sheridan sat in the meeting. I said, you know, and Nathan Fife. So yeah.
Will he have to go through another week of no training to get up for the Roos?
Well, he may, but if that's the case, I think he's good enough to do that. Like, what are we, 2 weeks to go? I mean, he's an enormous player, and they can work that hard. If anything, it might just freshen him up. You know, he looked quite dangerous. So.
Would you be hopeful Griffin could be available next week?
Yeah, I am, but that's under assessment, and I think what happens once you give your spot up, it's hard to get back in. So, which is good for me, but bad for John, and great for Aaron.
Are you suggesting you must stick with one of them?
I'm suggesting it's really difficult to play both, and Aaron's performed and Bradley's performed, so it's a tough, ruthless business. So we don't care how we do, but we can't delve into how people feel. It's how they act. So.
Has your opinion changed on that playing both Aaron and John?
Well, I've only done it a couple of times, but it'd be a really important decision. We seem to go okay with the one, you know. So yeah, and that's where we do. You know, I'm not an authoritarian or dictator. We do have match committee and we do talk about it, and I respect everyone's opinion, and well, we've got a bit to work through, you know. But it's a nice problem to have. You know, Fife, McFarlane, Sandilands come back into your team. That's handy. You know.
Why were they so close, do you think? Was it just a case of some butchered opportunities?
Well, I think it's self-evident, isn't it? You can't get missing from the goal square and missing targets, and what we have. 29 shots to 17 and one late, and again that was just from some sloppiness and trying to kill the game. So I thought, really, I don't think the scoreboard, I think it was 5 goals, really felt like most of the day should have been more. I thought it was a commanding performance against a dangerous team that publicly said they wanted to derail us, so it's nice to have a powerful response to a public challenge. It's terrific.
You're in 8th spot now. Can you taste the finals berth, or are you still tempered in your...
No, not at all. We know 2 games to go. We banked 4 points today. Got a massive game against North Melbourne, who one of the form teams of the competition, and I do understand Carlton are winning and winning well, and they'll look like they'll win their last 2. So, and percentage, I think they played GWS for the 2nd time, and you know, I think they got the Saints. So do the Saints shut up shop now, and you know, rest Nick, and they start playing their kids, and you know, tap out some of the pros, and who knows what they do. But it doesn't interest me. All we can do is control ourselves, and we've got our destiny in our own hands. And you know what? We've got 2 games of footy, and the next important one's North Melbourne Kangaroos, and you know, you've got to earn the right to play finals. So let's all get it on.
So the mindset you try to drill to the players now is that you win the remaining 2 games.
I won't even talk about the 2nd game. I'll just talk about this one, because the 2nd one will become irrelevant if you don't take care of this one. So I just stay in the moment, you know. I haven't got time to speculate about bigger picture. So it was a good team effort today, and I'm glad you asked those questions so we can clarify any conjecture, any innuendo and false statements.
Will you have a chat to Damien at all, just to
what for?
make sure?
Not interested. He's a really good person, good coach, but we take the 4 points and move on.